All right, guys. Sean here. Sean, I paved along with my guy, Adam Sager, partner. You know what? We're sometimes a couple minutes fashionably late.
Yeah, just a
but
few.
in truth, fashionably late is such an arrogant, shitty thing, Sags. It really is.
Yeah.
I guess, and we're not. Well, yeah, maybe we're arrogant. If you want to know how good we are, all you got to do is ask us. We'll make sure we tell you.
We'll tell you.
But we don't mean to be fashionably late sometimes. But we are just having a quick meeting among all our powers that be about another level to the game. And I've teased this for about 2 months, another show that we're about to finish putting together. It's done. Now, this is what we call a tease in the industry. Hang on, because we'll make an announcement. And we'll have the guy who's going to join the new show on as a guest. I'll just say this to tease you. You bettors out there are going to want to know who it is. And you bettors out there, I can give you an idea that maybe is well-known a public bettor as sports bettor as there is in the country, Sags, probably.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely hear about
his money where his mouth is, fair enough.
A year about the amount of money he bets on different.
And if I told you that was going to be a regular show, what would you say? Let's go.
Awesome.
There you go.
Awesome.
So there you go from my man Segs. But we got so much on. I thank you guys for your patience yesterday from golf and Segs that couldn't do it at a certain time later because he got his kids in sports, which rightfully so. But we're back at 12 noon. But we had great stuff last night following. So thank you guys for adjusting your time clock. And Lucy's always there to make sure that we don't badmouth. She's Mike McDaniel's PR person. Okay.
Yes.
Lucy, if you dog Mike McDaniel, you better say at the end, yeah, but he's good looking. You have to, or the Lululemon joggers work on him. So there you go. They look good on him, and we'll leave it at that. So there you go. He better start coaching, or he's going to find himself as a rep for Lululemon, and it won't be as a football coach if he doesn't change the way they're playing there. So
yeah, he may only have a few weeks left.
Yeah. All right, Sig. So what's on your mind, man? It's I know we're in that still stuck on last weekend because of football.
Right.
Kind of looking forward to this week. We got some big games and everything in between. So what's on our agenda today?
I do want to hit on Monday Night Football again and get some of your thoughts on the quarterbacks and how they played. And I know you talked about it last night, but some more in-depth. I also want to talk about what the NFL can do better. But I want to start here. And this is something the NFL can do better. Jalen Carter, we all know, spits in the face or spits on the neck, chest, whatever, of Dak Prescott in week 1. Did not play a play. It was 6 seconds into the game. Well, we got his punishment. He gets a 1-game suspension, fined $57,000 and change, suspended 1 game. But here's the caveat. He didn't play a snap in the game. So his suspension is the first week of the season. So he will be playing this weekend against the Kansas City Chiefs. What's your immediate thought when you heard me say that he is getting 1 game, but it's the game he was thrown out of?
Well, Segs, we better start playing Powerball more and Mega Millions. On this very show, I told you last week, you had brought this up as a concern, what's going to happen. And I had said, you know what's going to happen? They're going to find a way. I said, whatever they do, please don't skip a week and have him do it the 3rd game of the season.
Right, yeah.
Because you want to miss out. Remember I said that. I said, if you want to hit them hard, the only way you get an athlete is you take away what they love to do and hit them deep in the wallet. Well, while $50,000's $50,000 based on salary and when they, first time offense or second time offense, what have you, that the $50,000, that's a lot of money for everybody. It's $50,000's $50,000, but for us laymen, that's a big chunk. For a pro football player, he can go give a speech and make $25,000 twice and sign a card deal and he'll be fine. Yep. So if you're going to hit him, you got to hit him a lot deeper in the wallet. So the wallet ain't. Now, if it was principal, if it was $1,000 out of my pocket, I'd be pissed off because I want to make sure I know where every dime's going. But that was a self-inflicted problem by him, and he got off easy. I think this is so Bush League, and it reeks of everything we hate about the NFL, which there's a lot to love. But the thing we hate is the favorite money grab. You got to do it for looks and ratings and the rest of it. Jalen Carter does not deserve to be playing in this game. Now, it's no disdain for Philadelphia. You and I both hold the Eagles in the highest regard. Yep. And I'm going to tell you what, I said last night, Sigs, and I'll echo it. I think Josh Allen's the best football player in the world right now. I do. And that with a couple guys, Lamar ain't far behind. Hell, there's a handful of cats that are. I'm talking about today, not last year, not who the better off schedule. The best football player in the world right now, in my opinion, is Josh Allen. Period. Now, they're better pure throwers. Yep. Are they faster? Yep. But when I combine the whole thing, Josh Allen to me right now is playing as good a football as anybody in the world, and counting last year, it's carried over. That being said, when you talk about the best players, just grabbing a dozen of them, Jalen Carter may very well be one of them. He's close. It's maybe another year of doing it, and we'll have that conference, but he's close. And I can damn well tell you he's one of the best players on that team. And they got a lot, as we well know. So I think it reeks of – they can't even defend this. You want to know why? Is because he got kicked out of the game by the official. He did not get suspended by the official. So the NFL's basically taking the old, well, he got his, he missed a game. No. That's part and parcel to why he gets kicked. Okay, so do you do the same thing? Let's say a guy had however many offenses it takes to miss, like in college, when you miss the snap. So what happens if during pregame he hit a guy with the crown of his helmet in the back at midfield because they were fighting? And does that count as his first half? Then he gets to play in the second or the rest of the game?
Right.
It's apples to orange, but you get my point. Is we could apply that to a lot of things. That something happened, and he's the one who inflicted this upon Dak Prescott in the pregame. That was an ejection. They didn't call up Goodell or Troy Vincent and say, hey, man, what should we do? Well, you know what, let's call this the suspension, even though he was kicked out, and we'll let him play because we got a big game next week. It's the Chiefs. There's one reason why he's playing this week. It's because the Kansas City Chiefs are playing the Philadelphia Eagles. And it's a Super Bowl rematch, and they don't want to do it without the Philadelphia Eagles' best defensive player because he should have been fined. He should have been suspended. He's lucky he only got one game. And the fact that they gave him one game and included it on the ejection is put it this way. It just goes back to tell you there is no, and I know this was kind of an outlier because when it happened, there is no pecking order for suspensions and why we do them. They are moving the goalposts to suit their pocketbook and the visuals and the amount of people that are going to watch I'm watching Kansas City and Philadelphia play Jalen Carter or not. But for
the
them,
NFL, everybody is.
The narrative, we want everybody's best on the field at the same time, and let's go do that. Oh, okay, so are they going to cut back on Jordan Addison's suspension because he broke the PDA, those rules during the offseason? Oh, right. Let's cut him. The offseason, he's already in it, so let's cut him down again.
He missed the preseason game, so
you get my point.
Or whatever.
Yeah, let's have him miss preseason. It's a game, right?
Right.
To me, it has nothing to do with the Eagles, has everything to do with the NFL missed it on this, and it's horse shit that they did it. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if they were playing Carolina, he would have been suspended for this game. I don't mean disrespect to Carolina. Who's even with the New Orleans Saints? He is not playing this week. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I just think it's the fact that they say, oh, if it would have been the second play of the game after the first play that he was in, he would have been suspended the next week. I don't buy that. It was in between. The clock had started, put it that way. The clock had started. He was in the game. He was active for the game. He
was in the huddle, Sags.
It wasn't a dirty hit. It wasn't a crown to the helmet of the quarterback. It was nothing like that. He spit on somebody, and they're just saying, oh, well, he didn't get to play, so we're just going to count that as the game suspension. It's bullshit. But it's what the NFL does. They show us this time and time again.
To me, Sags, for the simple reason is that they could have sent a loud message that
yes.
Well, let me put it to you this way. What's the message here? That you're still tolerant of it. You're going to allow it. There's no real damage done here. They beat a Cowboys team they're supposed to beat.
Mm-hmm.
You can beat them. You proved you can beat them without Jalen Carter. You got a huge game. I mean, how in the world can they manipulate this and tell us that this is the way to do it? This is a fair suspension. If a guy runs out into the huddle as a 12th guy into the offensive huddle, you'll get penalized pregame because you have the whatever they call the rule of the guys in the huddle, too many men in the huddle offense. If he doesn't check in or check out, and the timing of it. You would have get. Oh, so we got to wait till the ball snap to give him a penalty? No, that's called a pre-snap penalty. This was in game. He got kicked out, like you said. So what happens if it would have done it a play-in. They would have done the same thing they did because of who they're playing.
So too.
And it wouldn't have mattered if he would have done it pregame or in the locker room. If they were not playing the Chiefs and they were playing a bad team that nobody cared about, the Philadelphia Eagles would not have him this week. It's the Chiefs. It's national TV. It's Mahomes. It's Hurts. It's a rematch. It means everything to the NFL. And they're willing to sacrifice their integrity and money that they didn't want to sacrifice. Money beat out integrity. It's all about optics, and they want it to look bigger and better, and they want this. They want Mahomes, and they want Jalen Carter to get after it. They want the best players on the team. Okay, let me ask you this. If a star, let's say Mahomes did that to somebody, and he wouldn't, but did that to somebody after he took a sack. If Jalen Carter does that this week and Mahomes were to spit on him after one play,
yep.
Do you think Mahomes, and then let's say they're getting ready to play Buffalo next week, just for the hell of it.
Right.
Is Mahomes playing next week? Well, he has to now because it was one play in. Well, Jalen Carter was in the huddle.
Yeah.
You cannot justify this. It's an integrity beatdown, but it's the NFL, and they're good at this, chasing the dollar, and they do it all the time, and it's embarrassing.
And I think one last thing, I think why it feels so dirty is
dirty
because of who he is.
Right.
Just what, the guy fell to number 10 in the draft because of
He's been a turd in the past.
Georgia. Yes. And so I think that's why it feels extra dirty to me, that this is a guy who's had problems multiple times. And here he comes out and still doing dumb shit.
What message did you send to him, Segs?
Yeah.
What,
like you said,
this is all he got.
Is nothing.
What's the big message here? I can do it and miss a game we're supposed to win.
Right.
But I get to play in the game that matters on national TV ratings. Hell, they'd have probably got more legs at it if he didn't play because they could talk the whole game on the suspension. He missed out. Learn a valuable lesson here. It would have been a great chance to send a message like you want to with your kids at the right time, not at the wrong time. This is the wrong message. And it also, if you're trying to be global and trying to impact children and kids that are watching, if we're going to go that cheesy, then guess what? That we're raising somebody else's 12-year-old. Well, what do you tell you? Oh, he didn't miss a game. Why? He spit on somebody. How's he playing this week? Well, they just decided that they didn't want to do it that way. Oh, okay. So spitting on you is okay. Punching a woman, well, that's been okay in the past for them. They haven't hit the guys hard enough that way, which is not okay. That's grounds for missing a whole season in my mind. But all these things, but man, you go ahead and spit on somebody, which is the lowest form of scum there is on the planet when you do that to an opponent or a teammate, let alone stealing from them. And then your reward is you don't have to miss the biggest game of the early season, the Chiefs and the Eagles rematch. Yeah, it's pathetic, and we all know it.
Yeah, and it goes back to something we were talking about when this first happened, is the NFL is showing this to kids that, it doesn't matter. You're not going to miss a game. You're not going to miss the next game for spitting on somebody. That we already see all these videos of kids celebrating like NFL, and not just like high fives or the jump where they bump into each other or hitting the gritty like Justin Jefferson does or Jamar. Like, they are doing vulgar acts. I mean, small kids, smaller than my own, that are 10. I mean, they score a touchdown now and they're just doing stuff that I'm even like, I cringe. That, I mean, and if they did it in the NFL, it would be a penalty and so on. So I think we just, I don't want to be that guy.
The NFL sent the wrong message on this, Segs. They just did.
Yeah.
It just, and you know what they did? They proved the old rich get richer. The better players get different treatment. Simple. Okay, let's even reverse it. Who's his backup? Give me a guy. I mean, I know who it is, but I'm using it in. You pick me an alignment somewhere else that's a backup lineman or a nondescript starting defensive player. Yeah. Anybody, whether it's there or here, I don't care who it is on your Bears team.
Yeah, Grady Jarrett or
okay, let's just go Grady Jarrett. Good player.
Yep,
but not the best defensive. Grady Jarrett, veteran. If Grady Jarrett did that to J.J. McCarthy during the same exact scenario.
Yep, he's suspended week 2.
Who do you guys play this week, Segs Bears?
Lions, a divisional opponent.
That's right. Okay, so you got the who do you play?
Ben Johnson rematch, everything.
Okay,
he's coming this week too.
There you go. So they went back-to-back division games and Ben Johnson rematch.
Pretty sure
Grady Jarrett, they'd let him miss.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. If it was Caleb Williams who did it to a nondescript defensive line, he would be playing next week.
Yes.
See, that's my point. There's a discrepancy on stardom's going to get more love in the suspension game. It just is. Or impact visuals and optics. So if this was a backup defensive tackle for the Eagles, he would not be playing against the Chiefs. A dominant player would be. If they would just name a star. If Saquon Barkley did that, which he wouldn't, he's not a turd at times, and Jalen Carter's a great player, but those are some turd decisions by him that he's made. If Barkley did that, just like Jalen Carter, do you think they'd have him out of the game?
No.
He'd be playing.
Yeah.
But the third running back wouldn't be.
Right.
You get my point on the suspension? The NFL missed heavy on this. They took the golden sombrero in baseball. They struck out 4 times on this. Awful.
Yeah. All right, back to Monday night. Let's start with J.J. McCarthy. What did you think early on? Were you like me where like he looked overmatched? Dennis Allen was really disguising things, I thought, really well early in that game. And then came that throw right before halftime where he hit, 25 yards or whatever to Jalen Naylor on that little out route to set up that field goal right before halftime.
And a hell of a play.
Yes, I've watched every single snap that J.J. McCarthy's had at Michigan as a Michigan fan. You could tell, like, some games he would come out and he'd start slow. He'd miss high. He would do something. And then he'd hit one great pass, and then it was over. Like, you just knew he's locked in now. Now it's time. He's done. He's ready to go. And then he takes off. Yeah, he threw the pick 6 in the third quarter, but he was just a little late. That happens with rookie quarterbacks. That happens with all quarterbacks. Right. Sometimes you're a second late, and they get the pick 6 on you.
I did. But other than that, 10th year of my career, I threw a pick 6 agained Seattle.
Yeah.
And I'm when I'm chasing the guy down, I'm saying, you dumbass, meaning me, not him. Right.
Right. So, I mean, I was really impressed with how, because, I mean, if you were on Twitter, I mean, and this is something I want to talk about later in the show too, Richard Sherman, multiple NFL guys that are analysts on TV and just ex-players are like, oh, should they call Atlanta for Kirk Cousins? Oh, this guy's not the answer. And it's just frustrating. But J.J. McCarthy showed up in the fourth quarter. He was named NFC Player of the Week, Offensive Player of the Week right before the show started.
And he only threw 20 times.
Yeah, 20 times. It looked a lot like a Michigan game. Now, they didn't run the ball really, really successful, but they did it enough to help JJ get comfortable in his first NFL start. And, I mean, the sky's the limit for that kid.
I think they only had 49 offensive plays. Think about that. It
wasn't a lot, yeah.
I think it was only 49 plays for the Vikings.
Well, I think they had 4 3-and-outs in the first half.
Yeah, Northern College, I mean, if you're Tennessee, you're running 90 plays or Ole Miss a week, right?
Yeah.
You had 49, and they had almost 70. The Bears had like 67 or something. So that's around the average, 63 to 65, 67 plays is usually where teams live in the NFL.
Yeah.
Listen, the same things that made people question him and the absurd questions after one first half of a game are the same reasons why the guy's going to be a hell of a player, because this is who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, it showed me a lot when Kevin O'Connell and they decided to get rid of a 35-touchdown Pro Bowl quarterback and not even think about going and getting anybody else and turning the whole thing over to an injured player who hadn't taken a regular season snap, even as a handoff late in the game because of his injury, and say, I don't care. I know what he's about.
Yep.
I said it, Segs. Every level he's won, and winning's contagious. He only lost one game at Michigan. I don't need to tell you that as a fan.
Yep.
And I, like you, you've watched them all because you'll watch them play a game that they're going to kill somebody. I've watched 90% of his throws in college, and just because of the evaluation process. Here's what I know about him: high football IQ and adjusts quickly. Because what Dennis Allen was doing to him is exactly what we talk about. Young quarterbacks it's easy to confuse them early on because they're not seeing all those looks they see on Saturdays that they're seeing on Sundays. They see more of them. But what I loved about it, the resilience, but he has got the ability to tune everything out. And it's when I say that, it sounds, well, Sean, doesn't everybody? No, they don't. A lot of times guys would have gone into the tank in the second half would have been worse than the first. He was efficient. Now, one thing that I was thinking in the first half, to answer your question, was, is Kevin going to turn him loose a little bit and let's see more bandwidth instead? You could tell they were playing to protect him and be a little conservative because, listen, Dennis Allen's a veteran. Brian Flores is a veteran. Hell, you even did some of that to Caleb Williams, and you saw how Brian Flores adjusted to the first half to the second half, and how Minnesota and J.J. McCarthy adjusted to the fourth quarter, unlike he did in the first. The thing that I loved is how quick the adjustment. It didn't take 4 weeks. He'll have a game where he's going to throw 3 picks and look bad. But you got from J.J. McCarthy what I think Kevin O'Connell expected. Efficient, not quite spectacular throwing it yet. Now knowing that, hey, I got to find out early. Can he get – because when you don't lose much, I don't know if he can handle failure. Segs, we haven't seen much of it. At IMG, he didn't lose a lot. He sure as hell didn't lose a lot. He's got a ring on his finger there. And he gets drafted by a team that won 14 friggin' games last night. And they got rid of their quarterback and allowed a rookie basically to come in as a second-year guy without start and lead your team that's loaded with a better offensive line, with two-headed monster that can run it. They've got a perimeter people, and when they get Addison back, and defensively they're good. So they're pretty stout, man, and they got a coordinator on defense that will attack your ass.
Yeah.
And so for me, I hold McCarthy in high regard because I'm not judging him by 143 yards. I'm judging him by what did you do when everybody expected you to wake up on Monday morning and everybody was – or on Tuesday morning, should I say? And was it Tuesday morning? Yeah, that was a Monday
Tuesday
morning.
morning. Yeah, Monday
Tuesday morning when everybody woke up and said, oh, man, are the Vikings looking for the Kirk Cousins thing? That's done, and he's only going to get better, Segs, because there's a certain grind about quarterbacks that I find out quick that can handle bad stuff. That's my number one judgment on a quarterback. I can still play if it's all good. Everything's going good. I'm not getting hit. I can play. Can you play when your teammates need you to elevate and need you to elevate them? And he was directly responsible for the energy in the fourth quarter. I'm not worried 1 ounce about him because it didn't look pure throwing it. We said that O'Connell was going to try to make it for comfortable reasons, look a little bit like Michigan for him.
Yeah.
He'll expand his passing game. The key is they got out of there with a win when it looked like they had no chance. I loved the poise of him in the fourth quarter.
Right. He's never going to be like Tom Brady.
You're not going to lead the league with 5,000 yards passing.
He's going to be more like Jalen Hurts. Yeah.
Bingo.
So, and
maybe Jalen Hurts with a little more – they may eventually try to throw it more because they're maybe. But I think he's a guy that lives in that 25 to 28 range when you can mix in his legs. Jalen Hurts is a good comp because they question Jalen Hurts throwing coming out of school. But what did Jalen Hurts also do everywhere he's been, Segs? High school, won. Yep. He won. And to my knowledge is an ugly win still counts. Yeah, and the fourth quarter was anything but ugly, and Chicago let one get away because McCarthy responded well to pressure.
Yeah, going back to JJ's high school career, because he started here just about a half hour north of where I live.
He's from. He's a suburb.
Yeah,
right?
He's from LaGrange. So he, I think he had 2 losses to his team was like a 6A team here. He lost to 2 8A big private schools, and he was at a private school as well, but lost to 2 private schools there. Then he had the 1 loss at Michigan, and now he's 1-0 in the NFL. So I think he's had 3 or 4 losses, and since he was a freshman in high school, and he started as a freshman at that camp.
Think about his thought process, Eggs. Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Power 5, 9th grade, highly recruited. 11th grade, 13-1. 12th grade, 8-0.
3 losses in his life.
12th grade, 8-0 was at IMG, correct?
Yeah.
So they played 8 games IMG. Yes. Then you see freshmen. I mean, you take a look, 61-3 is his career. There's going to be a lot more on the left-hand column than there is on the right with his wins. You know what, Segs? While all the rest of us were wondering how this was going to finish this game and moving forward, you know who wasn't? I honest to God think he thought he was going to win the game.
Yeah.
And a big reason why they did.
Well, you heard Aaron Jones joined another podcast. I can't remember which one it was. And he walked in to the huddle after he threw the pick 6. They were down, I think, 11 points. I think it was early fourth quarter. And Aaron Jones, he said he walked into the huddle, and McCarthy was like, is there anywhere else you'd rather be? And Aaron Jones kind of looked at him like, we're getting our ass kicked right now. And McCarthy's smiling. He's ready to, he's like having fun. And he's like, I couldn't believe it. And then he just took off, and they scored 3 touchdowns. He had that running one to take. He
took their mind off the grind, which is part of leadership.
Yes.
Dude. And it doesn't have to be loud all the time. It can be subtle. And He's got that factor that you're begging for in a young quarterback, let alone a 10-year veteran.
Yeah, and remember, he is the youngest quarterback in the NFL. He was only 20, I think, when he was drafted. He's only 21 right now. I mean, the kid has it, and the fact that I'm a Michigan fan, it feels like all my favorite Michigan players end up in the NFC North playing against my Bears. And
that had to suck on Monday night. You're rooting for McCarthy to prove that he's a player.
Yeah, I want this kid to play well because I do really like him. He's from my area and everything. And then it's like, oh no, but you play for the goddamn Vikings. It's like, geez. But Caleb Williams, he's done.
Can I respond to Kenny here for a second?
I missed
just real quick. Kenny, I don't think mediocrity is a new exercise. I don't call winning a game on the road as basically a rookie in your first start and leading your team to 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. I don't call that mediocrity. Now, if you're judging the fact that he was 13 of 20 for 143 yards and threw a pick 6 for a first start, had he lost the game, the narrative may have shifted. He's got a long way to go, and he's still got a long way to go.
Yes.
But the whole thing is the Vikings are still 1-0, and they're starting at basically a rookie in the second game. So I know on this show, the mediocrity is unaccepted. But if mediocrity gets me a win, okay. Caleb Williams started 10 of 10. There was nothing mediocre about him, and I don't think he's mediocre. Yeah, I think he's the only reason people give Caleb Williams a hard time because they don't like the optics of the fingernails and he beats to a different drum. As a talent, shit. Guys, that dude's as gifted as there is throwing it off schedule, on schedule. He's not the best pocket passer, but he's getting better. He can rip it. He's a playmaker. But McCarthy, no, mediocrity's not. I don't know who your team is, Kenny. I mean, right now, or who your favorite players. I'm not rewarding him for mediocrity. I'm rewarding him for winning and having the resilience to go win. I've seen plenty of 400-yard games and 40-throw games that have ended up in a loss. So I would think that very few experts in the business of coaching that are coaching, I wouldn't think that Kevin O'Connell's walking out of the game saying, my quarterback's mediocre. Because it's not just about the stats. The different stat is he beat a team that's really upgraded, and he did it on the road with all the pressure surrounding him in his first start. Now, he'll get better. If he lived there, he won't win all the time. Comparing him to Hurts isn't mediocre at all. I don't know. What's mediocre about Jalen Hurts? Sakes?
Yeah, and this is kind of perfect, the way Kenny worded that and everything and what you're saying, because while I do want to talk Caleb Williams, and we will, it brings up my next point that I wanted to, my next subject that I wanted to talk about is that the internet, Twitter, just people in general now, the sports world expects these guys to walk onto the field first snap and be Tom Brady and be Peyton Manning, when those guys were not themselves when they started. Tom Brady was not this world beater at Michigan. He was a solid quarterback and then Manning threw the 28 picks his rookie year, coming off where he was supposed to be a god coming out of Tennessee. He threw 28 picks. I think his career ended up pretty good, in my opinion, Peyton Manning. I know some don't have him as generational, but I definitely have him as a generational quarterback.
Well, you didn't play, so according to but you're not allowed to talk about it.
It's the same moron that says all this stuff. That's my favorite part. But yeah, it's just the fact that, these guys can't do anything wrong. I mean, I'm in a couple Bears chats. I mean, people are out on Caleb Williams. I'm like, it's game one of a brand new system that's very complex with a very good offensive mind. Some of the throws he made were incredible. And yes, some of the throws he made sucked ass. I mean, those 2 misses over the middle where he was 6 yards off. Yeah, those are terrible that an NFL quarterback should make. But Caleb Williams, still 22, 23 years old. JJ McCarthy's 21. Drake May's 23, whatever he is. But these guys are supposed to be perfect right away now. And that's just my biggest gripe. And I'm not even talking football. I'm talking, for me, Connor Bedard with the Blackhawks. Well, he's not Wayne Gretzky right away, so he sucks. You can go on and on and on and on of athletes.
If the comparisons, they're not Mahomes 2 years into their career, right. Well, okay, I guess they're not. Neither was Aikman or Elway or Manning or Brady either. That's exactly
not
right.
Everybody's Paul Skeens, who walks into the MLB and is arguably the best pitcher in baseball.
But what if Paul Skeens next year has a bad year, Sakes? Are we going to say he sucks?
It's over. Yeah, it's over.
Right,
I mean, that's just the sports world, and it's the politics world. It's the world we live in, with everybody having a keyboard at their fingertips on their phone and they can blast it out to the world for
You
everybody
want
to
to make
see.
it real simple, sakes. The best way I can describe this for anybody viewing this, you and me included, anybody we know, JJ McCarthy is better at his job on the first day than I was and you were and anybody else watching this was on their first day. The difference is you didn't have a handful of millions of people and 70,000 people in a stadium judging you when you went and got Gatorade at the same time. So you can give me all you want. That doesn't mean people's opinion don't matter and they don't know football. One part they don't understand is how if they're saying that, they don't understand how tough it is. And the shocking part to me is the hot take analysts on there that know better, that played, that know how shitty they were in their first season or first start.
Richard Sherman wasn't great to start as a corner.
Richard Sherman was like a fourth or fifth round draft pick.
Yeah,
he's a good player. He turned into a great player.
Yeah.
See the key there? Smart football IQ, Richard Sherman. Brilliant mind on the field, Richard Sherman. Grew into being a great player.
Yeah.
But nobody had Richard Sherman as Deion Sanders his rookie year. I assure you of that. So it's the same thing. So JJ McCarthy and Caleb Williams are better at their jobs early in their career than you and I were at ours or that somebody else is theirs. Now, in order for Caleb to get to another level, the simple play from the pocket is something he's going to have to continue to get better at.
Do you think I don't know when you look at like when you watch it, is it mechanic? And this is why I can't wait for you to get
he's mechanically unsound. He's not mechanically sharp.
Yeah.
He is a Segs, he's a gunslinger that you're going to see Jackson Dart's kind of like that too, dude, when he gets to play. A gunslinger that's propensity to play hero ball. And I think that's the biggest issue with him, that he thinks because he had to at SC, dude.
Yes.
He had at SC for 2 straight years. He had to play hero ball every week because we couldn't stay. If he didn't score 40, we had no shot. When he did score 40, we still didn't beat you. Yeah. So that mentality of, and it's a good thing at times when you need him to play hero ball, then he's got to do it. For me, the next step for Caleb is I don't care about all the other stuff, dude. The leadership will either rear its head where he's a bad leader in the locker room or he's a good one. Right now, I know one thing. When it comes to raw skills, the guy's a monster. Now, he's in his second year. He's not Brady's 6th year yet. He's a year exact. He's not. But he's a lot more skilled than those guys were. If you're talking about coming in with talent, a lot more talented than Brady was, than Manning was, than Drew Brees was, than a lot of these guys were. I'm just talking about skill set. The ability, if you could grab with the skill set, the base of skill set he's got is what you're looking for in the first pick of the draft with the quarterback. Now, sew up the mechanics, take that serious, make the simple play. I'm never worried about him doing something spectacular, but there's a case when I feel like at times that he feels like he's got to make a play that, quite frankly, it's like you and I going to golf with Scheffler. I hit a shot that Scheffler, while he can hit it, he ain't, like I've said before on the show, 275, got to wrap it around the tree with water in front of the green. Guess who's not going for it on a par 5? Scheffler. What he's going to do is hit it to 100 yards and flip a lob wedge in and then birdie it with a 3-foot putt. What I'm going to do is try to do it, and I'm going to hit heavy, and then my third shot's going to be before the water. Then you're going to hit it beyond the green and putt downhill and 2-putt or 3-putt, and you're going to take a 7 or an 8.
Yes.
That's football, and that's quarterback. The amount of – I have high expectations for everybody too, but I'm also tempered in knowing the position's brutal to play, and our expectations that you got to be in the Hall of Fame in game 2 is crazy. They taught New England. I heard New England fans, Drake May went through it. Williams going to throw it. McCarthy's already, even with the win, people are going to go, well, is he any good? Jalen Hurts has been to 2 Super Bowls, and they still don't think he's the answer, some of these national people. And I don't get it. I just don't. Now, if you've had chance after chance after chance, what do you want? You want statistics, or do you want statistics and win, or do you want win? Yeah, it'd be great to be the fastest guy, jump the highest, run the fastest, throw the ball the furthest, and be the most accurate, and also win Super Bowls. That's not usually realistic. We saw 2 quarterbacks Monday night that have the ability to elevate their teams to different levels. I think that you're going to find McCarthy plays under structure better, even though he's really good off schedule. That if you could take these young quarterbacks, say, give him that and give him this, I would like Caleb Williams to take some of McCarthy's calmness, and I would like McCarthy to take some of Caleb Williams off the charts skill set. You put them both together, you get a player. And if both of them can grab something from the other, or guys like that in the league, and just keep winning. When all's said and done, Jalen Hurts' career, he may not throw for 50,000 yards, but I guarantee you one thing: he'll never have to apologize to anybody for his skill set. Period. Yeah. And neither will Caleb Williams.
I have written down for you about Caleb Williams. Early in the game, we saw him taking the checkdowns or, taking the easy passes. Nothing wrong with that. They went and scored a touchdown first drive of the game. But you saw him using his feet to manipulate the pocket a lot and even get outside the pocket. And he made that one throw to Roma Dunze down the sideline that maybe 4 quarterbacks in the NFL can make. He was running out of bounds and fired it straight.
A lot of them wouldn't even attempt it because, it was special.
But do you think his feet got worse as the game went on and he was panicking as that pass rush was coming? Because it looked like his feet were really good early and he was moving with a purpose. It felt like second half, it was, I got to find some way out of here. So I'm going to run around in circles until
his movements were intentional in the first half. He was 10 of 10. And my favorite thing about him, Sigs, check down, hit the flat, hit the hit. He made easy throws and he made them look easy.
Right.
Which is that. Here's what happened. It gets back to my original thought is all young players and some veterans alike lean on the crutch that they have. If you're Caleb Williams and you start to get into a game, okay, it's the Vikings and the Bears. It goes on. We had a good start. And sometimes you get into a point, I gotta make the next play to extend the lead. So what does he do? Look at some of the smoothing. He started to force. It looked to me like he was spending more time watching receivers and pass rush than he was actual coverage. And you saw at times. But yeah, he got a little wide in his footwork. And that's the one thing. He's never going to be Tom Brady mechanically sound, but he's going to have to improve it. But it got back. It looked to me in the second half like there was a little confusion. And if he had a bad play, that it's almost like he wants the makeup call. He goes to the bench. You can see a little frustration, comes back like he's trying to make up for, okay, we went 3 and out. I got to hit the home run now.
Right.
When had he played the same way, McCarthy may not have seen the ball enough to get to make the comeback. So I was impressed with his patience in the first half, and I thought he got impatient and tried to be too many big plays and force balls that weren't there. It goes back to you got to see coverage, not the receiver. And so, yes, his mechanics got a little – he leaned on his crutch, Sigs. It proved also that he doesn't quite trust structure just yet.
Yeah.
And that's okay, and it's going to have to grow, but he doesn't quite trust the structure. So what do you do if you're a singles hitter trying to hit home runs and you want to get back to playing small ball? Choke up on the bat, hit the ball the other way, and you're back to doing who you are. In this, it's who you are as a spectacular guy. He's got to flip it. He's got to learn to play the easy part of small ball. And in the second half, he didn't, got him into trouble. And when it got him into trouble, he started forcing plays that weren't there and got away from the same thing he did in the first half. Up and down the field, simple. This guy. That's why they got those low-digit numbers or 80 numbers on their back, because they can go do stuff with the football. Once he realizes he does have 10 other cats on his team, he can sustain that for 4 quarters. The key is going to be 4 quarters, 9, 10, 12 games a year to do it. And Kenny, Kenny, obviously I appreciate it. And I love you actually challenge the thinking. I get it. And I appreciate the compliment of watching. And yes, the media's changed. We in the media, a lot of times, hopefully not us, don't speak in, and throwing stuff against the wall and hope it fits. Banter and difference. I love differing opinions. I just don't like stuff in the media when guys are saying stuff they don't believe. Yeah. I do believe that we saw 2 really good, talented players that are only going to get better Monday night.
Yeah, and we do have a media thing I want to talk about here in a few minutes. But one thing I want to hit on real quick in the NFL is that game Monday night, we saw the Bears. Caleb made a completion. I think it was to DJ Moore. They had the ball 1st and 10 from the 12 going in to score. Then Darnell Wright gets hit with a holding penalty that, I don't think anybody in the world but that one ref thought was holding, because, it was a terrible, terrible call. Do you think it's to the point now that we can get replays so fast? We can turn this stuff around so quick that there should be an official up in the box that, can overturn just, a brutal call. We're not here to overturn everything if this or that, but when it's a clear non-hold, like he just chopped his hands down and the guy fell and the ref probably saw the guy go down and just threw holding, which I guess I understand, but sometimes we got to get these blatant misses right.
It can't just be throwing a flagger inside of 2 minutes. I believe, and I've been heavy on this. It doesn't mean because you have the technology and the ability and the bodies to do it that you have to do it every play. But you hire a person that their job is to get it right. They're basically your electronic strike zone as a human in the booth. Do I believe guy drops back and there is no holding? It's a phantom call. Even if it hurts the officials, he should be able to buzz down on it, hit him on his hip, as we used to say with the pager. Hit him on his hip and say, we reviewed it while
they're talking.
Especially, or even if you just started it off with saying, once we're inside the 30, we got our guy up there. That if you miss a pass interference call before you even have to review it or before somebody throws a flag. See, and I know pass interference is not a reviewable play. You can't review. I mean, review.
And there was one on the Bears in that game too, where the guy just fell down and it killed him.
Every play is a judgment call. Every holding. When they say, well, that's a judgment call. Holding is too. So is lining up in the neutral. It's all judgment. You got a guy looking at it. Then human error is fallible. I mean, they're fallible. They make mistakes. I believe, like Belichick and the rest, that you should be able to review. Don't give him any more red flags, but you should be able to review any play. You should be able to review if your guy had a pre-snap movement. If all of a sudden you say, no, real time's quicker than that, and the guy buzzes down saying, or if I'm on the sidelines, I got a review left to say, we're at the 5 and it's 3rd and 5, and I need this play to move me back
at the 10.
I got one red flag left. I want to review the fact that did my left tackle flinch? No, he didn't flinch. Then I get my 5 yards back.
Sides
So you should have the ability with monitors to review every play, yet you still get your 2 reviews and get it back if you get it right, or lose a timeout. But I do believe, I don't care about the referees' feelings. Their job's to get it right. There's too much money on the line, not just with the NFL, but gambling money and everything else, and players' careers and chances to win and put a ring on your finger, to not at least give a chance to get it as close to right all the time. And a guy sat up there saying, it's a phantom call. You missed the holding, and buzz down and say, no, timeout. And then he can walk over there and quickly look at it. If he wants to, yep, you're right, I missed it. Or you trust him up there when they review comes down, you trust it. So we're not wasting 8 minutes. And I'm telling you, it won't make the game 10 minutes longer. It'll make it 90 seconds longer, 30 seconds longer. Who cares? And I never ever complain about a game if it's a good game and I want the winner to turn out right. I hate phantom calls, and we should be able to buzz down and say, there was no holding there, pick up the flag.
Right. And we do have the expedited review. We saw the one there at the end when Caleb, we thought he scored, but he did not. He was actually out at the 1. I mean, he didn't have to go over and look at the screen. Somebody came down and just maybe from New York or wherever and was like, no, he's out at the 1.
Why can't you do it on pass interference or offside or holding?
Right, exactly.
Or illegal procedure. Yes.
The pass interference brings me to this. And you're a quarterback. You teach quarterbacks. You coach them, everything. Do you believe that it should still be pass interference? And we saw it in the Bears game, and I know I saw it, I want to say in the Packers-Lions game, where a quarterback underthrows a deep ball down the sideline, and the corner is behind, in between the ball and the receiver. Well, the receiver stops, and the corner obviously can't stop.
I already know where you're going with this.
Yeah, but the ball lands 2 yards before where they even make contact. Are you a believer that that should be a penalty, or should we just wash that out of the game? Because to me, it's bullshit. I mean,
an offense
can't do anything about it.
You either, if you put it this way, it's hard to call it
bailout call.
It's hard to call it on the offensive player because you've impeded his path to the ball. But when the ball's in the air, it's a 50-50. It's not, the receiver doesn't have the right to the ball.
Right.
Both do when it's in the air.
Yeah.
Here's what I think. If you have to force yourself, if the receiver initiates contact moving towards the line of scrimmage, you can't. Now, the guy reaches out and grabs his jersey, stops him from running the right. Now, I'm talking about where they're running equal. He's behind him, and if he throws it deep, got him beat, and the guy stops and runs right back into your chest, and contact comes. It's like somebody slamming on their brakes on purpose. It's an ambulance chaser, and you hit him in the back, and you know damn well they could have stopped slower and do it, but it's going to be the guy who hit him in the back's fault.
Exactly.
Even though they're the ones who initiated the contact and cost you a civil, it cost you $1,000 to fix their car and a few headaches. You're like, you asshole. Now my premium's gone up when I damn well know because I was maybe riding a little close times. You did that shit on purpose. We see it all the time. Same thing here. While it's a great advantage for the offense, if the receiver coming back through the player initiates the first contact, you either pick it up and call it an incompletion, which I'm okay with, because I don't want to penalize the guy going back trying to make a catch.
Right.
Not calling pass interference, because the truth is, Segs, if you underthrew every deep ball, you're probably going to get 7 out of 10 pass interference calls. You just are. So they initiate the contact. It should be incomplete.
Yeah,
it's now second down and 10. You can't flag a guy. The defense is at such a disadvantage anyway. The pass rush, every rule is set up to favor the offense. It just is.
Yeah.
So those guys, the toughest job in football right now, outside of a quarterback managing in all 22, is a corner playing man coverage on an island, dude. Against the best. Can you imagine lining up 10 yards off Jefferson and saying, you got to cover him the whole day? Dude, that's a mental beat down, let alone a physical one. So, and then they can't clutch and grab. They try to get away from it after. I mean, they all do. But that should not be a penalty. If you initiate the contact coming back, it's too much advantage. What are you supposed to do? You can't suspend in midair as the Matrix. You're trying to play catch up. Right. Now, if you grabbed his jersey, impeded his progress going towards the end zone, one thing. But if you are just playing good defense and he initiates the contact coming back, you can't call a penalty there. You absolutely can't. A couple questions answer. Isaiah, I'll get to you. JRM 730, thank you. It's a great point. You said it different than I do, but we're both on the same page. Caleb wants the 9-point play too often. And once he learns how to take the 3-point play or the 6-point play when necessary, because his skill set, Segs, if we took him out and said, okay, let's match skills with every other NFL quarterback, you ain't getting out of 3 or 4 or 5 cats and saying he's one of them. Now, quarterback is different. He's not right now he's a thrower, Segs. You get my point? When he becomes a pitcher, it'll be a different story. But he's got in his mind, that's another level of elevation and leadership to get to a point where he's okay with not being the hero. It's okay for somebody else that day to be the hero, because in the process of not playing hero ball, who's the hero? Who didn't play hero ball 80% of the game? J.J. McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
The last fourth quarter, he was a hero, but he did it within structure and a few off schedule. And now he's the hero and the player of the week, throwing for $143, but a come from behind win on the road.
4th quarter touchdowns.
I can give you my honest assessment of Green Bay. They are right now. I'm not so sure that they're not a Super Bowl contender. They're going to give the NFC fits. They're physical. They completely destroyed the Detroit Lions team. The Detroit looked like a team with two new coordinators, and they looked like the Detroit Lions before Dan Campbell got them on this run. I'm just telling you, the game plan was great. Jordan Love is getting paid for the right reasons. They've got some receivers that can separate. They can pound you with the football. They are physical. That was no accident this weekend. Detroit will play better. Green Bay's a better team right now. So you think Philadelphia, you think front sevens, and wait till Micah Parsons actually understands what they're trying to do defensively. Right. I think the Green Bay Packers, 3 things you have to win, in my opinion, Sigs. You got to be able to control the line of scrimmage on both sides. You better have a defense that gets stops and can actually score that is nasty. And when I say line of scrimmage, the offensive line applies that too. And with that, you better be able to run the football in inclement when you're having a day that it just your finesse game isn't real good.
Right.
And the guy under center's got to be a stud. He just does. It's a quarterback-driven world we live in. You can win some games like McCarthy did, not having gaudy stats, but he was still a stud when it mattered. Jordan Love is a football-playing Jesse. He's a monster.
Oh, so you mean somebody that struggled early in his career, got better, and is now a good quarterback?
Remember at the time they were talking about trading Jordan Love and moving him out because Rodgers was there? What not? And he got like 2 extra years to sit and watch a Hall of Famer play.
Yeah, he sat and watched, and then he came out, and it wasn't good enough in Green Bay. It wasn't good enough with all the
I got news for you. They're like, Green Bay fans wouldn't trade him for many right now. That's how they feel about him. Yep. Philadelphia, Green Bay, the Rams, and Washington, in my opinion, today, I'm not discounting Minnesota yet. I got to see a little more with the young quarterback. But those 4, in my opinion, are the class of the NFC right now. Yeah. They are. With some. It's kind of like I almost feel like Denver and Green Bay. I feel the same, although I think Denver's quarterback he's not Jordan Love yet, but great defense. They can run it. They've got some home run hitters, and they've got Bo Nix is just trying when he catches up because the bandwidth of Sean Payton, both are well coached. Similar to the way we feel about him. I think Denver's an in vogue team. Chargers as well. But Green Bay, if you haven't loved them, you saw in the first game why there's reason to consider loving him after what I saw.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. All right. One last topic today. And Triple E, before you put it up, I want to ask Sean, have you seen the awful announcing top 25 sports media personalities of the last 25 years? Okay.
I did not see it.
I
see them, and I think the awful announcing does a great job.
Yes.
But I did not looked at it today. As a matter of fact, I have been on minimal internet today.
I want to see how many of the top 25 you can guess that are on there before we put the list up on the screen and show everybody.
Oh gosh. Okay. Let me start.
So I mean, you think of your big names and everybody.
Oh, okay. Are they? Are they the best? Are they the most powerful? Are they the needle movers? What are they?
Most influential is what
the needle movers.
It says.
Yes. In no particular order.
No particular order. Who do you think's won? Let me ask that. Well, you're not on the list.
What a shock!
You did not make it.
Still holding me back, just like the Academy Award for bench warmers. I got snubbed. I guess I should ask this question 6 before I left ESPN as opposed to now, right? I'm going to say Dan Patrick's in the list.
He is on the list. Yes, he is number 16.
Who's number 1? Number 1's going to be Stephen A. Smith.
Close. He's number 2.
Colin Cowherd.
Number 25.
That's too low. If you said influential, you may disagree. You said
influential. Yes.
Okay, so I'll tell you who would have been on there is one of the before he became the general manager is you would have put Woj on there. You would have put him on there because of his. He is.
Yes.
Okay,
from since 2000.
Let me get to number 1. It's not Stephen A.
No, he's number 2. So since 2000. So yes, Woj.
Well, since 2000.
Yes, the last 25 years. The last 25 years.
Oh, I thought it was just like this year, but
just now. No, the last 25 years.
25 for 25 years.
Yep.
Okay, so we got DP Stephen A. Don't tell me number 1, Stephen A. Okay. Cowherd's too low at 25, just because he does move the needle, whether you agree or not. I'm talking about, some of these guys I'm going to name, I may not like their stuff,
right?
But influential. DP, Stephen A. Herb Street's got to be on there.
Herb Street is on there at number 14.
Scott Van Pelt.
Number 6.
Joe Buck.
Joe Buck is also on the list at number 12.
Aikman
is not on the list.
He's not Troy's not a big
right. Yeah, you don't see him out and about. He just does Monday Night Football. And
so you're telling me at ESPN somebody's higher than Stephen A. Smith? Is the number 1 guy at that network?
No.
Okay, so number 1 person in media, and these are all people that talk into a mic, not executives.
Yes, this guy, yes.
So it's not Cowherd, it's not DP, and it's not Van Pelt, and it's not Stephen A. Smith.
Right.
Sports, Pat McAfee.
He's number 9.
Okay, Pat. I got to go back. Berman, if you're talking about 25 years.
25 years, he is not on the list. I couldn't believe that. That was one of the guys that I had written down.
Stuart Scott
is a snub. Stuart Scott is on the list at 17.
Rich Eisen.
Rich Eisen not on the list.
Okay. Then it's Al Michaels.
Ooh, wait. No, Al Michaels is not on the list.
Gosh, that's 25 years. Michaels is still doing it. He's not on the list.
Not on the list.
Is the number 1 person a studio person or a play-by-play or an analyst?
No, he's more of a
insider.
He's a podcaster. Rappaport not on the list either, but his counterpart. Yes.
Schefter is.
Schefter is on the list. Him and Woj are number 5 together.
Okay, so the combo.
Yeah.
Those insiders you need him. 20 years.
Number 1's a podcaster. He has a podcast network.
Portnoy.
On the list at number 8, but not Portnoy.
Portnoy, and it's a sports podcast.
Yeah, I'd say he leans more NBA. Definitely, he's an NBA.
Oh, then it's from in Boston. Simmons.
Yes, Bill Simmons is the number 1 most influential sports media personality of the 2000s.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, put the list up so I can see.
Okay.
And then this is the order they're in too.
Yes, Charles Barkley, number 3.
See that my next one after Simmons would have been Barkley.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm going through all these. So I was thinking, okay, my friends at ESPN. Then I was going to Fox. The truth of the matter is, I can put whose job in truth is who's got the most untouchable job in sports right now. Barkley does, I think. Meaning,
yes, I agree.
Meaning, you, Charles Barkley, anything, anywhere. Now I know that everybody can do something heinous. Charles,
it would have to be horrific for him to get
and then the horrific, depending on what the horrific we describe as horrific, might be a suspension, not a fine.
Right.
Charles, which listen, if you're any good, you've either had your hand slapped or been suspended. I'm sorry, but you just are. Okay. Yep. Now Bob Costas is on there, and Chris Berman's not. I got a little. And Bob Costas. If you would have said 80s or 90s, Costas belongs on there, as does Al Michaels, no question.
I wonder if Costas got on there because of all the Olympic coverage as well.
Oh, so I think there's no Mike Tirico should be on there. Is Mike on there?
Not on there.
Which is crazy. Tirico's
now crazy. Jim Nance is a play-by-play guy.
There you go. All right, let's go through it. Simmons 1.
I love number 4.
I might have Barkley even higher than 3. Stephen A. We're talking about influencing. Stephen A. agree with. Barkley, agree with. Not in their order, but on there. Kornheiser and Wilbon, agree with. Great show.
I love the fact that they have them at 4.
Withstood the test of time.
Yes, it shows
Schefter and Woj, everybody's hanging on everything they say for drafts. They're the news-breaking studs. Van Pelt, I love where he's at. I actually still to this day, I know this sounds crazy, Segs. I think Van Pelt's underutilized. I do. You give me Van Pelt all the time. The Doris Burke thing, I get it.
Too high.
What?
She's
not
too
that high. Way too high. But I can tell you this: Doris Burke. I know she was removed she's not on the number 1 team now. But Doris Burke is really good at her job.
Yes,
very 100% good at her job.
Should be on the list.
She should probably be the highest ranking female, which she is on here. But I would have her a little bit lower as far as influence. Although she's influenced a lot of females and. I know a lot of males in the business that respect her game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She knows basketball.
Awesome what she
Portnoy influence can't be argued. What they've done with Barstool. McAfee can't be argued because he's moving the needle and he's on the most important pregame show in college football. And his show is podcast and his show is really good. Erin Andrews, I'm a little surprised there, but Erin's been doing it. Not that she's on it, but at 10 because she's withstood the test of time as well and been solid for years. Okay. Yes. Skip Bayless. Remember, we're talking since 2000. Got to be on the list.
Got to have him on there just because of, no matter what, he's in the headlines.
If he tweets, everybody talks about it, dude. Yes. And he's not even in the media. And he doesn't have the full-time gig.
Right.
Other than his podcast. Buck, yes. Costas, yes. Although I think Costas is too high since 2000.
I do too.
If it was 80s, 90s, no problem. Herb Street, no doubt. I think he might be a little low because he's the most influential college football voice. Nance, too low. He handles every big event there is.
Yep.
I think DP, dude, we're going back 25 years. Dan was still doing Sports Center. That's too low. And he's still the best interviewer in sports. Stuart Scott, no brainer. Mina Kimes has started to move the needle. There's certain things I'd like Mina Kimes talking about.
I wouldn't have her on the list.
No, I agree. I think that not only too high, I can understand Erin Andrews, and I definitely understand Doris Burke. Hell, I actually think Dottie Pepper's really friggin' good as a female broadcaster.
Yeah.
Mina Kimes, I think with Mina Kimes, the big reason is Dan Lebitard's been a fan of hers as well, who's behind, and Dan's been on there since 2000. I think for Mina Kimes, it's a lot of the controversy that surrounds it means she's influential, whether you like her or not on there. And remember, we're not talking about if you like that she can talk sports or not.
Right.
Because I can argue that sometimes, if you're going to tell me to, when you tell me that we got to get rid of cover 2, it tells me that we're not paying close enough attention. But she's smart, and I get the influence part of it. Lebitard, yes. Florio, influence, yes. Pardon my take. I'm assuming they're talking about the Barstool show, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
And then Tony Romo. Listen, Romo's got to get back to the Romo when he first started at CBS because he was doing it right. I think he mailed it in, not all the way, but I think he got comfortable. And the last year, I think it almost feels like Nance nudged him and said, let's get this back going, dude, where you're the energy's there, where it's not Captain Obvious. So, Tony, Strahan's too low. He's on a morning show. He's on sports. And I know the thing about it is, Michael, I don't even look at him as much as well, he knows sports and football. He's great on Fox. Michael's crossed over the line of.
He was the first one to.
Right. He's doing both. Mike's now an entertainment and a news guy that happens to do sports. And that's a compliment because he's really good at sport. If he was just sports, he'd be powerful too. But he's embraced, like Charles has. He does everything.
And
I don't know when the guy takes time off. He's working hosting game shows. It's incredible.
And that's where Nate Burleson's heading. You know, he's
and Nate's
one of the morning shows. Yeah, and then he's good on CBS Sports NFL Sunday.
Right. Coward should be higher an influence. He should. It's like I said, we're not agreeing with everything that these guys say or think that they're our favorite. Listen, listen, if Ernie Johnson should be on everybody's top 25 of good, no matter, because nobody handles the job classier than him. Better. And especially with the way he's got a traffic cop that group. Yes. And I mean that affectionately as well. It's a good group. I would have had different names higher.
Anyone stand out to you that's not on there?
My top 5 influencers would be, in no particular order, would be Smith. I'm talking about influencers.
Yep.
Smith, Barkley, Simmons, Dan Patrick, and maybe Stuart Scott, because Stuart Scott changed the way we looked at people and how like cooler than the other side of the pill. He kind of took it to a whole new level. You give me those 5. But McAfee's body of work hasn't been 25 years. So if we're having this conversation 10 years and this continues, yes, he wouldn't be in my top 5, but he would be where he is now. Probably one of the insiders. It would probably be Schefter. Would probably round out my top 5 because of all the information he's got to bring to the table, and it moves needles.
I would definitely have to consider Portnoy from our top 5 because
that's why I'd have to definitely. He's where he belongs, but top 5. I can see why, Segs, with what he's done.
What he's taken Barstool from to now what it is, and they just keep hiring big names.
Well, isn't it similar to what Bill Simmons did in a different way? Took in what he's done with his, the business he owns, and then applied it. I mean, he's. Listen, Simmons can get any guest he wants, all of it.
Straight lace, give me facts, give me, stats, give me the hard hitting stuff. And Barstool's the other side of the aisle where it's just, we're going to dick around as much as we want. We're going to talk sports. We're going to have fun with it. We're going to give probably stupid ass opinions
because they appeal to some good. They appeal to it. Yeah.
But yes, they do a lot of different stuff. Their content game in the sports world is as big as anybody right now. But is there any names that you feel like were left off? We mentioned
I'm gonna think about that. Maybe let's revisit it tomorrow. Let me think about some names because I guarantee there is.
Let me throw one out at you because these guys. We've had them on our show.
I'll tell you one for sure. Mike Tirico should not be off that list.
Okay. Yes, I agree with that one. But this one, we've had both guys on our show. It was a show. Mike and Mike. I mean, the longest running national radio show. They were the best.
How many of those broadcasters are in the Hall of Fame?
Probably
radio or TV Hall of Fame. Dan is, I believe. Dan's in now. He should be.
Stewart
I would imagine. I think Coward just got put in, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
Mike
Jim Nance is. Costas is.
But if you're a Hall of Famer and you did it for as long as they did, and it was influential, it was radio on TV, and they capitalized on it. Kornheiser and Wilbon could be a top 5, honestly.
Yeah.
They just keep doing it. Both brilliant, and they're the perfect mix for such a. Different cats, but they're perfect mix on the show, right?
Right.
The way they approach it. I'm with you. The Portnoy thing, but
you know who else?
I would
Mel Kiper.
I wouldn't have the 80s and 90s Costas. I don't think I'd have Bob post 2000 on there. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Top 25.
Yeah, that's where it gets tough. What about
Mel Kiper? I respect him. He's a Hall of Famer and a legend, but I mean, it's the Olympics. You're exactly right. But if you have Bob Costas on there, how's Al Michaels not on there?
Right. Yeah.
Who's called more big events than him?
Right. That was my thing. But Mel Kiper, with the way the draft has blown up, I mean, and that's the name everybody thinks of when you talk NFL draft is Mel Kiper. He may not be the best anymore, but he still moves the needle.
You know why he's not?
People still tune in.
You know why he's not? Because the perception is he's seasonal. Does
that
make sense?
Yeah.
Because although I can tell you, I know he's already grinding every friggin' day for hours a day on the next draft book to get it out. But we look at Kiper as the January to late April guy.
Yeah.
Right. So it's when all the rest of them were like, even though if you're a basketball, Barkley in basketball, but Charles is still doing College Game Day. He's still guest on everybody's show, and they're still doing it. So I think Mel's probably just influence. It's the seasonal thing for Mel is probably why.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I just found
a
that
list to aspire to be on.
Fascinating list. Yeah, and yeah, I can't. Number one snub, Sean Salisbury.
That's happening, dude. I mean,
you can make the argument. You and Johnny Clayton.
I will tell you this. I do believe. Well, first of all, it was and I don't mean this a pat on the back. This is more credit to John Clayton than even me. And I appreciate you saying that. And I know we joke a lot.
Yeah,
it was the original. We were on before even Tony and Will
and Mike. Yeah.
And another great show that moved it with all these media people that turned to the Mina Kimes and gave them their opportunity. And Pablo Torre and the rest is that around the horn. And I'll tell you what, reality should possibly be on the top 25.
He definitely has to be
if they didn't consider him, they missed out. They did.
Yeah.
But I think Awful Announcing got most of it right, and they watch it and pay attention. They're good at it. I say with John and I, had we been able to do this a decade more,
kept it going at a national level.
I think just on the influence, because we did influence debate, and that's due to Mark Shapiro and Mark Chrysler.
That's all it is now.
We influence now. Everything's debate.
Yeah, that's all it is.
We were the original, so I take great pride, and we got a lot of legwork out of it. But I know damn well that John and I did great work, and he was the star of it, in my opinion. And it was a perfect mix of completely different but great friends that got it, and we didn't script it. I take great pride in that. I do believe that had we gone 10 more years at doing it, that maybe that list would be different.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that was one of my favorite segments we did on the
Before
morning
we
show.
Even met.
Yeah, we had John on our national show, and then we had him on our morning show.
Because they said influence, Eggs. We influenced debate.
Yes. So, and that goes to show you don't have to play, because John didn't play, and he knew more than most.
Well, we kid about it. And I tell you right now, John Clayton, he got plenty of zingers in on me. All years we were doing it. And that's the perfect example of a guy who covered it wall to wall. John was the best. Covered it wall to wall, Segs, and never played it down a football in his life. But I got news for you. He knew it. And his relationships with the players and coaches and front office people, he was impeccable at what he did. And nobody loved the job more than John Clayton. He made it easy, man. Made it easy to want to do that. He did.
It was still
good list, though, man. You know what? It's inspired to get on it, because I'm sure I'll tell you what some of them are doing. Some are grateful they made it. Some are pissed that they weren't higher up. Matter of fact, the number 2 guy might be a little irritated that he's not number 1, if you know what I mean.
Number 25, Colin Cowherd.
I got $1 million that says somebody's tweeting about it on a video of their own, saying, "How am I not?" That's coming.
Yeah,
that's coming. So
for sure,
that's okay. I'm not a big list guy. But I can tell you that list is good because it's appropriate now. It's not your off season.
With the 25 years. So
I like it. That's good stuff, man.
It's good for banter and stuff like that on shows. So
Segs, great work today, man.
Yeah.
We'll be back at it tomorrow. Great stuff. Great topics on the Caleb, because they're the hot button these last few days. And tomorrow now we shift into Thursday night and shift into college football weekend coming up. Some big games this week, Segs, and we'll get Florida's reeling right now, buddy.
Oof.
And it ain't gonna get any easier in Baton Rouge.
You think that seat is scorching there for old Mr. Napier?
Yeah, dude, he's got to wear 4 pair of pants just so it doesn't burn his ass. Yeah. You talk about singed ass hair, that's coming if he's not careful.
Yep. And then tomorrow,
one thing about it, Six, he's not. Billy's been questioned about why he's calling the plays year in and year out. They question, and he still
says he's calling.
He says, "I have no intention of giving it up. I hope they're not wasting DJ Lagway's ability, buddy."
I know that, and he's not getting talked about enough as a possible, and he's still young, so but man, he's got so much talent. And
he's a great kid, man.
It could just be wasted down there in Gainesville.
Yeah, real quick, before you close out, and you're right. Thank Lucy. Thank you for the compliment. We just had Oklahoma State blows. Yeah, Dr. J, they're in trouble. 2 of the guys I played with in the tournament yesterday, Oklahoma State former football players, a little older than me, but we're there when Jimmy Johnson was there.
Yeah,
good guys. I'll keep their names private, but they both said, I said, yeah, who's Oklahoma State got this week? He was right back on. He goes, we got a bye week. He goes, and we damn well need one.
Yeah.
Well, after what Oregon did to them, they took their ass and stole it from them. And I'm not sure they're going to get it back. But this is Gundy. I don't know how hot his seat is because he seems to be able to withstand it all, right? But that was ugly football played by them, and they do need time off this week.
I don't even know what they played can be called football because they weren't. It didn't look like they were even trying out there.
The Stigma Chi House at Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma State's football team last week. Now that's the hot takes you can only get everywhere else, not here, right? There you go. Good stuff, Segs. Let's do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. I do want to talk tomorrow. Detroit Tigers have some issues coming out about their organization, the Ilitch organization, with more of
Mike Ilitch,
misconduct.
Mike Ilitch, he's the Little Caesar CEO.
Little Caesars guy, yep.
Owns the
Tigers, the Red Wings.
The Tigers, yeah.
Yep. So some bad stuff coming out about them. We'll hit on that tomorrow as well. And just kind of ask the question, why does this keep happening to multiple organizations?
Can't you learn from like the Washington mistake?
Exactly.
Can you not learn from other people's mistakes? Say, you know what? This organization is not going down that road.
Right.
It ain't that hard, Segs. It isn't.
If you're an owner, geez. But yeah, we'll talk about that.
Clear the building if you got to get them out. I mean, we all make mistakes. It's not the first mistake. It's the second, third, 14th, 400th one.
Yes.
You're like, what in the world, which goes back to the beginning? Jalen Carter, you got a hall pass, brother. So don't blow this one because the NFL screwed up by giving you your suspensions, the game you got kicked out of. That's such tacky bullshit. But Eagles fans, I'm sure you're fired up about it. And your team, well, what a shock. A good team got better, and they're going to have them against the Chiefs. Who would have saw that coming, Segs? Right. Let's not suspend him for this game. It's a joke. We'll do it again tomorrow.
It's a joke. Yeah, we'll be here noon Central. Thanks, Triple E, Laura, everybody behind the scenes. We'll hit it hard right at noon. And hey, we got Thursday Night Football too.
Damn right.
We'll flying by.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
All right. We will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.